In 1993, Snoop gets arrested for suspicion of murder with Philip Waldemariam. Um, you were in the car, not when everything went down, but prior to that. Can you tell me any of the events that led up to the incident between Snoop, his bodyguard, and Philip Waldemariam?
Yeah, so that particular day, I was at the Benton apartment all the time. That was a regular fixture. So that particular day, I was dropping some clothes off for Daz. It was a Nordstrom bag. I remember parking and tooting the horn because when you toot the horn, somebody was going to come downstairs. And little half dead and little sea star came down. We would sit up there chopping it up. And I had my little cousin Dominic, who was 3 years old, in my passenger seat at that point. And Daz wasn't there. Daz and Corrupt were at the studio. Snoop was upstairs. The boys came down to get the bag for Daz. We were just talking. And then we noticed a car was creeping from behind, creeping up slow. And, at that point, there are drive-bys, there are a lot of things going on. So we just kind of took notice to this car creeping up the street coming from behind. And when the car got kind of eye level to my window, the dude, which we know is Philip Watermarian, he brandished a gun. And we all like ducked, like, this is all new. Where did this come from? Who is this? We're in West LA. You know, where did this come from? So he brandishes a gun. I think he has another guy in the passenger seat, another guy in the back, but he's the one um, that brandished the gun. And we ducked, and the boys ran upstairs. I mean, we were in a panic mode because what the fuck this happened? How did this escalate? And Philip Marion, we were we were privy to him because he was I guess the big dog from By Yourself Hustlers in the neighborhood. And Snoop and Daz moved into the neighborhood, and they were rappers, popular. The girls wanted them, so I think that itself infuriated this guy because Snoop was getting all the attention. The girls were on Snoop, and it was no reason why. Like, why did you do this? What Snoop did nothing. He didn't do anything to cause this. And immediately after this happened, I had to keep in mind that I had a child in the car because, everybody knows what happened after. But I had a kid in the car, so I had to get up out of there. I mean, I can't put this kid's life in jeopardy. Everybody knows Snoop. I think everybody was infuriated more so because there's a kid in the car, a baby, and someone pulls out a gun. I mean, that upset me more. And I think that upset everybody more that there was a baby in the car. So I left immediately to go and take my little cousin back to Baldwin Hills, which was maybe 15 minutes away. And between that time I left, that's when the bodyguard had to defend Snoop, and everybody knows the story from there. But we never came back to that Minton house after that. That was the last moment we ever seen that place. That bag of stuff I got Daz was left there. Everything was left there. We left and never came back. And we Daz and Snoop stayed other places. I was right along with them. I remember after that happened, we had to stay at Dre's condo and on Wilshire for a while. Suge put us up here, put us up there, but we couldn't go back there. It was already a problem.
And when he brandished the gun, did he? I mean, like, did he point it at you guys like he was gonna shoot, or?
Absolutely, he pointed it. It was pointed in my direction because you have to understand I'm the closest one. I'm right there in a car, so if a bullet goes off, it's gonna get the person in the car first, the kid, and then the two guys. They were outside the car, so it was directly at us in the car. I didn't know this guy. Why? And you seen there was a kid in the car. Why? That was just crazy. It got pointed. My little Honda Accord was parked right there, and this man purposely did that. I don't know what his intentions were, but you could have killed somebody. I mean, right there, a baby. Come on.
After Snoop was arrested for suspicion of the murder, and he's going through the trial. What is the atmosphere like with you, Daz, who are up with the dog pound people, as far as what are you? Obviously, everybody wants him to be acquitted, but the reality is, at the time, there could be a 50-50 chance. What is the feeling and what is the atmosphere as Snoop goes through this trial, which obviously took a couple years to get to that point? But what is the feeling of the crew and everybody after he's arrested and he knows, all right, I'm going to trial for this?
We felt confident because we had Johnny Cochran and we had Sean Holly. Sean Holly was his assistant, who is now the biggest attorney out there since Johnny Cochran's no longer with us. We felt confident that Snoop would beat it, but everybody was still scared. It was a very scary point at this time, and like you said, 2 years had passed. So by that time, Daz and I were owners of a house in Silver Lake, and Silver Lake was closest to the courts where Snoop was. He was going through trial at the criminal courts building in downtown. So Snoop would stay with us a lot because our house. We were behind gates. We had a 24-hour security guard there, armed security guard at the gate. So it was the safest place for Snoop to be, to stay away from the paparazzis and to be safe, and to be close to the courthouse. So we were afraid, And I remember Snoop at that point having, whenever he would be nervous or something, his tummy would always kind of bother him. And he was extremely nervous. He was nervous because at that point, you didn't know which way it would go. But every time I would see Johnny Cochran and his team, it would always kind of be, we kind of got the sense that, okay, he knew what he was doing and we knew that everything was going to be okay. Like, I knew looking at Johnny that everything was going to be okay. Because Snoop did nothing wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't. Malik didn't do anything wrong. He was protecting Snoop, and to me, how I look at it, it was a child that, was being protected, because that baby, that 3-year-old baby could have lost his life that day, in my care. So we were worried, but we still had a sense that everything was going to be okay. We went to court with Snoop at the beginning almost every day, and as it trickled down, it would be like a couple times a week. But God, it was amazing when that verdict came in and he was found not guilty. That was the most amazing feeling in the world. We celebrated all night.
I was just about to ask if you attended the after party at Monty's, and if so, if there were any stories from that party.
Oh God, Monty's was great. We walked into Monty's, and Cristal was like running like water. Okay, and some of the jurors on the case were there. Everybody was partying. MC Hammer walks in. Everybody walks in. It was the most amazing feeling. And one thing that kind of broke my heart that night, prior to this, celebrating, Sam Snead had got into a little issue at Cran-Am Studios with, and got, roughed up a little bit. And he had to attend. And I just remember this. My heart was breaking because he was sitting up there with a black eye and, just kind of, not in a good place. I was celebrating at the same time, but my heart was breaking for Sam at the same time. But it was a great feeling knowing that Snoop was going to be okay.